wanna jump a little further back.
Okay.
How does Les Vixens come to
To be,
existence, right? Like
yes.
how does the queer burlesque troupe sort of get dreamed and formed and made real?
Well, so many, many moons ago, I saw, drag queens and performers in gay bars, and fell in love with it immediately. But there was nothing for queer women specifically. And we do love our drag queens. I was raised by a wild pack of drag queens, but there was nothing for women. As to this day, it's still not a lot for us specifically. And so I thought this is something that we could do. There were a few people kind of already doing something similar, and I thought I could do that. I don't know why I thought that. I danced like a baby horse, and I had no dance training, but just a strong desire to perform. So I started the Les Vixens, myself and two other performers, and it was the three of us for a while. And then one of the girls, she was bisexual and she got pregnant. So she retired.
So she retired. She wasn't
Yes.
still honestly, like I'm a singer, and like I literally think about like if at any point I'm pregnant, like I will be on stage just like dancing with that belly. Like I don't
Truly,
care.
I
So
100% agree
I'm
with that.
surprised.
Well,
Listen, sometimes they're not. It's not that comfortable, Ellie. Okay,
that's
just
true.
depends. You don't
Right.
know.
Well, and also at the time, clubs still allowed smoking, so
yeah.
it wasn't the best environment for a belly.
Yes.
I'm like
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, understand.
A parasite growing inside of someone else, whatever. But yeah, and then I started bringing in other performers, and we started having a rotating cast, and then it took off so quickly. It took me many years to really embrace it as a full business because I loved it so much that I felt like if I looked at it too directly, it would all fall apart. But it ended up just keep going and going, and people were eating it up. The fact that it was queer women performing for queer women, and there was no gay for pay. It was a fantasy that could actually be real for you. You could actually date these people. And we also understand what it's like to come out and to struggle with our identities and to, go on the journey of losing family and friends and all of these things. So when we perform and people see us, we also see them. And so there's a different type of connection than just a dancer on stage. And I think that that's something that we really dug into and found this kind of magical connection with people. And then because I'm a Virgo and a business person, I really started to run it as a producer and to hire the best of the best. And now we have 17 performers. We've been in Forbes magazine. We just won Orlando's #1 burlesque troupe for the 5th time. And we have gigs everywhere. And I mean, I'm in New Orleans this weekend and just everywhere. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you say longest running, how many years has it been?
Do I have to disclose that?
You don't have to. You're like, I don't want to. You're fine. You don't have to. Longest running, that's
an air of mystery, right?
That we won't share. That's fine. That's fine. But either way, in the long time that you've been running it, what have been some of your favorite performances or like craziest like places that you've been to do the?
To be honest, some of my favorite shows have been in the middle of podunk nowhere, right? Where it's the one gay bar in a tri-state area where no one really knows it's a gay bar, but the gays know it's a gay bar. And they had to fight with the churches that are on all sides of them to get their liquor license kind of thing. Performing in those places, the appreciation for what we do is so high, and the audiences never get to see empowered, sexy, queer women doing empowered, sexy, queer things. And so those are some of my favorites. I really love like traveling to the middle of nowhere and shaking my tail feathers for the queer hillbillies, it's my favorite.
I love that.
But yeah,
I'm like, it's gonna be something like super glitzy and glamorous. No.
And I've done shows all over. I've done shows New York, New Orleans, everywhere. but it's those little towns that never get to see it that means so much to me. And the fact that we get to show up and bring that sparkle train into town, it's like, woo, oh my God.
Do you seek those gigs out, or are they like finding you and being like, please come here? Or
both,
a little both?
Yeah, both. As a producer, I work tirelessly to get us into more venues and more stages, because in the queer community, well, everywhere, but in the queer community, men are prioritized. So
they are?
Yeah.
Wild.
Well, this has just been my experience.
I'm so confused by that statement. I've never heard that.
So, right.
Especially,
it's different.
Especially in the nightlife scene, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Never. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Men are never prioritized, and women are always given the best of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But so I do have to fight for stages for gay bars to even have us come. And even with a whole long list of accolades, there's still a misconception that gay women don't spend money. And so, and there's also extreme amounts of misogyny everywhere, including bar owners. So a lot of bar owners, even lesbian women bar owners, are pretty misogynistic. And they also don't understand it's the art of the tease. It's all the tease without the sleaze. It's all the class without the trash. They think that we're just going to come in and do some like dirty stuff, but it's actually art and it's performance, and the audiences show up every single time. So even to this day, it's still, I have to fight to get these things. I do have a lot of people reach out and want to bring the Vixens places, but then even then their budgets are like non-existent. So I look for sponsors and other sorts of things so I can get my girls to these places. But yeah, it's a mix of people reaching out, but mostly it's me doing the work 24/7.